Trea Turner's season has gone from like defensively a lot better. That's nice. And he's changed his approach and he's Ben Revere at the top of the order, like slapping the ball around. And I know that a lot of these are flares and infield singles and he's using his legs and like credit to him. Like that's good. Trea Turner, when you look at Fangraphs wins above replacement this morning, is 5th in all of baseball in terms of position players. It is Aaron Judge, Cal Raleigh, Bobby Witt, Shohei Ohtani, and Trea Turner. You're talking about, in terms of that metric, Trea Turner being the 5th most valuable player in the sport right now. He's hitting 303. He's got a 357 on base percentage, slugging 451. So the OPS is 808 this morning, 119 OPS plus. He's been off the charts in August, and he started the month 1 for 21 in his first 5 games. Go back to when we recorded. I was up in Maine. They were playing the Orioles. And I'm like, yo, Trea Turner's OPS is down to 750 right now, Anthony. We talked about how bad he was in 2023. Offensively, you could argue that he's having a worse season. And over the last 14 games, he's just went crazy. And now he's pushing on, I think, legitimately a top 4 MVP candidate in the National League.
Yeah, I mean, when you do what he's done in the last 7 games, Bob, I mean, that's the most ridiculous thing. And I know it's just 7 games, and that's, small sample size over the course of a year. But to get 21 hits and 34 at bats,
it's crazy.
I mean, he's hitting 618 in the last week, with a 1462 OPS. It's crazy. So yeah, when you do that and you raise your average 22 points in a week in August, and you've played all year, like think about that too. Like that's how impressive this has been. Yeah, it's really, really hard to do. He's fantastic. Like he's been so good for them, especially at the top of the order too. Like this is exactly what they needed him to be. And I know that he probably won't get to that 380 on base percentage that Rob Thompson made a target for him, but you're okay with him being around 355, 360. If his OPS is north of 800, he's hitting over 300. He's already stolen 31 bases, so he's probably going to get more than 40.
Yeah, and that's what I'm looking at. Like, could he get to 20 home runs? Maybe. I would bet against it just based on his approach.
Right.
But could he get to 20? Maybe. Is he going to steal 40, 45? Yes. Has he dramatically improved his defense this season? Yes. Yeah. Look, I'll go back to that exchange that Tim Kelly had with Dave Dombrowski at the end of last season. And Tim pressed Dave on it. And, Dave's like, we believe he can play a good shortstop. And I don't want to simplify it, but Tim was kind of like, here are a bunch of stats that totally disprove what you're talking about. There's no indication that Trea Turner is capable of playing an average to above average shortstop. And credit to him, he's gone out and done it this year. And he's done it while changing his approach, while accumulating and compiling some really impressive statistics. Like he may, when it's all said and done, lead baseball in hits this season, but it's not going to be a Luis Arias hollow, no impact, can't do anything else type of year. I mean, he's doing this with all of the other things around it. I don't think, he's a legitimate MVP candidate in terms of can he win it? Even if Ohtani went down, I still think Schwarber, in the way that he's perceived, would finish ahead of him. But if Trea Turner, and not that he's going to have a 721 slug for the remaining, whatever it is, 30 plus games, the way he has over his last 14. But if Trea Turner keeps this up, you're talking about an all-time good season. You go back to Rollins' MVP year and you put this against it, and you're going to say to yourself, this will be probably the best single season shortstop year offensively, defensively combined in totality that we've seen here ever.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing that the Rollins season will have that will always be ahead of almost anything else is the 2020 season, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's the one thing that will kind of, you'll sit there and go, okay, no one else has ever done that. That's kind
of. And it came with a ton of huge moments. It came after Rollins had kind of said, we're going to, it's time, it's our time, team to beat, all that stuff. Like, and so from like a narrative standpoint too, like it all adds up. And what he meant to that team, like I don't think that Trea Turner's viewed the same way that Jimmy was viewed in terms of his importance, to the team. But I will say, like, my criticism of Trea Turner has been like, he's been a fine player. Has he been a $30 million player? No, of course not. Has he really been an impact player? And even till there have been times this year where it's been this way, but I would say overall, like if you talk to me on July 31st and said, do you feel like Trea Turner's been a big time impact player for this team? I'd say, no, like I see the stats and I recognize he's having a good year and kudos to him for that. And he helps this team, but he's not an impact guy. And I've come around. I mean, you can't deny what you're looking at.
Yeah, no, and I'll say this, Bob. If you recall 2 years ago, at the beginning of the year, we were doing a preview, our season preview in March. And it was right after World Baseball Classic. He had the big home run, right? He was doing great, leading Team USA. And we sat there and said, Trea Turner, 2023, is going to be an MVP candidate. Both of us said it. Like we both sat there and said, this guy's an MVP type player. And we thought that was the season he was going to have. Obviously, he didn't have it. He didn't have it last year either. He's having the year we thought 2 years ago he would have.
Yeah.
Now, this is what he's had. Slightly down with the power, but other than that, the defense has been far better than we would thought it would have been 2 years ago, right? So I think there's an even trade-off. He's going to finish probably if he keeps up this kind of level, hitting 300, OPS over 800, he's probably going to be close to a 6 WAR player this year. Like that's fantastic. That's a fantastic.
It really is. Let me just put I acknowledge, I said, is this the best shortstop season we've ever seen offensively? And you talk about Rollins in 07. I'll just do a quick side-by-side here. For what it's worth, just go to OPS plus, right? And like, I don't want to get like too nerdy here, but you know the deal. Like that's relative to the position this season. Like it's more, gives you more context, like relative to the rest of the league in the year in which it's being played. They both have a 119 OPS in this moment. So it's very similar that way. But when you look at some of the counting statistics, I mean, Jimmy Rollins in 2007, he scored 139 runs. It's just crazy. And I know it was a different league then. The offense was a little bit, it was a little bit more substantial at that point. But Turner's on pace for 111 runs. Rollins that season had 212 hits. Turner's on pace for 202. He's on pace for 36 doubles. Rollins had 38 that year. The triples obviously is where he really trumps Trea. Jimmy had 20 that year. Turner's on pace for 6. Jimmy hit 30 home runs. Trea's going to, he's on pace for 17 in this moment. Rollins obviously didn't walk a ton, 49 times, but Turner's only projected to walk 51. So I would give the nod to Rollins, obviously head to head if Trea continues at this pace. But the fact that we're even, having that conversation, or that you could look at it and not laugh it off, tells you how good it's
well, at the very worst, Bob, it would be the second best season of a shortstop in Phillies history, right? Like, so I mean that's pretty impressive in and of itself. So yeah, you can't dismiss it. What Trea Turner is doing, he's rivaling. So his best season as a pro was in 21. Started with the Nationals, and that's the year he got traded to the Dodgers. And he ended up hitting 328 that year, led the league in steals with 32, which is unbelievable that they weren't stealing bases that much back then. Led the league in hits that year, 195. It's OPS plus, which you love, was 145, right? That was really good. Finished with a 911 OPS. He's going to be close to that. The only thing that'll be lower will be the OPS because he's not hitting for the same power. He had 28 home runs that year. But other than that, he's going to put up a season that's close to what his best season was in 2021 when he finished 5th in the MVP voting. So I think a top 5 MVP thing is within reach for Trea Turner this season.